Joseph Smith's writings are now over 150 years old. If they are true, then they should be easily validated by historical and archaeological evidences. Joseph Smith, his father Joseph Sr., and his brother Hiram were actively involved in the occult while living in Palmyra, New York. Joseph Sr. considered his money digging an occupation and often brought Joseph Jr. with him on his expeditions. This involved special rituals and ceremonies which were performed for the purpose of obtaining buried treasure. It is through these expeditions that Joseph found his beloved seer stone, which he used to try to locate treasures of gold and silver. Joseph would place his magical rock into a hat and pull the hat up to his face to block out all light. By doing this, he claimed he could see supernaturally and would help those who were digging by locating the place where the treasure was buried and observing the spirits that were guarding it. Joseph and his father's money digging continued until at least March of 1826. I will now give you a description of the manner in which the Book of Mormon was translated. Joseph would put the seer stone into a hat and put his face in the hat, drawing it closely around the face to exclude the light, and in the darkness the spiritual light would shine. A piece of something resembling parchment would appear, and on that appeared the writing. One character at a time would appear, and under it was the interpretation in English. Brother Joseph would read off the English to Oliver Cowdery, who was the principal scribe, and when it was written down and repeated to Brother Joseph to see if it was correct, then it would disappear, and another character with the interpretation would appear. Thus the Book of Mormon was translated by the gift and power of God, and not by any power of man. This translation method was affirmed by David Whitmer, Martin Harris, Oliver Cowdery, and Emma Smith, among others. And it is this unbiblical method of translation that Joseph Smith boasted the bold claim that the Book of Mormon was the most accurate book in existence. If this book was translated by the gift and power of God, we must ask the question, why have there been thousands of corrections to the Book of Mormon, many of which relate to doctrinal and historical issues? Since the golden plates were not used during translation, Joseph Smith was the only person who could verify that they truly existed. Initially, Joseph's witnesses vouched for Joseph and the golden plates, but when pressed by the public, Joseph's witnesses stated that they saw the golden plates through the eyes of faith and never physically saw or handled them. More importantly, Joseph was using the same occult object to find buried treasure as he used to translate his scripture.